Ready, set, go.
Hello, welcome to a very, very special album reaction. I don't know how special it actually is, but it feels special to me because it's a little bit of a full circle moment for the album reactions lane of this channel, because we are covering the newest release from the first artist that I covered as an album reaction on the channel. We are covering the new album by DODIE titled Not For Lack of Trying. The first album reaction video that I made was of her Hot Mess EP, in which she dropped into the comments and actually had some very, very lovely things to say on my my reactions to her music. So if you've shown up again, DODIE, hi, great to have you here. Stick around if you want. But we've got a whole album of hers now. This is her second full album, first being Build a Problem. I've been following this kid for a good long time, and I'm very, very excited to find out what she's come up with for the second album. I didn't really know whether she was like working on anything. We got ourselves 12 tracks. She had a few things to say, but not much about this album when it came out. She said in a Clash article, in an album full of pain and confusion and figuring it out, Mrs. is such a big part of my life and she brings me so much joy. I don't know who Mrs. is. I think she might have a cat. That might be the name of her cat, but I can't confirm that right away. But she says, Not For Lack of Trying is so simple, so sad, and it really painted this picture of all these songs of me trying to figure it out. And I'm assuming the Not For Lack of Trying is kind of referring to the amount of time that it took to release this album since Build a Problem and Hot Mess. It's been a couple years since Hot Mess, and it's been even longer since Build a Problem. And clearly that was not for lack of trying. So now that we do have the album, we got 12 tracks, clocking in at just under 40 minutes, at about 38 minutes in fact. So not too terribly long, but we'll see what DODIE has managed to pack into these 12 tracks. Starting out right away, the first track, titled in all caps, I'm Fine. Which right off the bat, I simply do not believe. Simply not believing this kid right off the get-go about the being fine. But we'll see what kind of arguments DODIE'S got to make. Yes. We love the little acoustic guitar.
He's listening in.
I love the triplets. Ooh. And the muted strumming there. There's the harmonies. There's the harmonies that we know and love her for. Jeez.
Just listening in.
Okay.
Big that cries in the iCloud.
What?
Roll it up, smoke it out. When you left to figure it out. Big brave girl.
I love those little syncopated, like open strums. Ooh.
Really, I'm fine.
Oh no. Ooh. Oh. Are we fine? Because the minor chorded string quartet says otherwise. Alright, we got some drums in here.
Many friends to ignore. Big brave girl, 29 now.
29 now, me too.
I'm fine now. Really, I'm fine now.
Are you? Ooh. my god. So this is a headspace, this is sort of a sonic space that we've spent quite a bit of time in with Dodie, including the triplets. Like, we've been in this sort of weird feeling minor chord space. Hot Mess a little bit. Yeah, it was mainly Hot Mess. A little bit of Got Weird was in a similar space of this very, very dramatic, like cinematic. Like, this is why I tend to refer to Dodie as like an orchestral pop artist, of like really bringing in that big like string sound to these very accessible melodies and rhythms. It's such a cool sound that I'm really glad that she's sort of found her way into since her sort of, you know, the Tumblr Yellow era had its own charms at the time, but this really does feel like a maturation of kind of how she sounds as an artist and as a musician and as a what you might call composer, sort of composer songwriter. It's really, really neat to hear that growth, especially now in this sort of escalation in her second album here. Ooh, we're all drowned out. Don't think I don't notice those high notes in the back there. Ooh. Yes, I do. Ooh. Oh, and the low notes there, kind of sticking it out. Ooh, with the piano. Sort of fading in and out. I love the dynamics there. And you hear the like click of the strings and the keys. That's so nice. Okay, that feels like it was leading into the next song, which is great. I love that. But we're going to take a moment to talk about this song. Oh my goodness, what a lovely start to things. Really just immediately reminded me of all of the things that I go to Dodie's music for, just sound-wise and emotion landscape-wise. She says, "I'm fine" as an unconvincing exclaim. Oh, is it? Is it, Dodie? Sarcastic and hollow, this song is a mental battle that balances between panic and relief before tumbling into something overwhelming. Interesting. Mental battle between panic and relief. Relief regarding what, I wonder? Relief as in just trying to slough it off and be like, I'm actually okay? Or relief in actually opening up, but then the opening up also causes the panic? I wonder if that's sort of like double-sided deal of like opening up about the pain can also like bring it fresh back up to the surface and make you feel all of those emotions that you've been trying to put off and avoid. Recurring attitude of I'm actually fine and pushing it all back. When the panic and relief finally gets released, it will be all the bigger after. So let's take a look at these lyrics. Verse 1, my, what a mind that is mine. And what is the world but a mind? Getting a little Shakespearean there. Any moment carried by the panic in a rugby pile. Oh, no one is listening in. Who is in town? Oh, it's her. Dream and awake start to blur. Close your windows, bolt your doors, or you'll be doomed to evermore be no one. Just listening in. There's a lot going on there. That's some weird psychological stuff going on here. Let's see about this rugby pile. The phrase conveys how overwhelming and smothering her panic attacks can be, as if at any moment she's tackled and engulfed by fear. So like the panic, the fear of feeling that panic that's comparable to just getting piled on like a rugby pile up. Every moment could precede that panic. No one else is aware of this possible panic in every moment. No one realizes that that is a fear of hers that she's just sort of going through her day in. Dream and awake start to blur. There's the derealization, which is something that Dodie's been very open about and has talked a lot about her experiences with it, of just sort of going through life feeling just like a certain amount of disconnection from her body and from her experiencing of life, and has talked a lot about just kind of learning to live with it and enjoying life as best she can under that, in that condition. Close up, like bolt yourself up, lock yourself down, or else you'll be doomed to evermore. Be no one, just listening in. So there's this push and pull of on one hand, I don't want to feel too much, because then as soon as I start to feel, then I'm going to start feeling too much. So maybe the solution to that is to just not be and just listen in like a ghost, is kind of the thought that we're entering into the chorus with. The first chorus being, Big Dad cries in the iCloud, roll it up, smoke it out, 1 year left to figure it out, big brave girl, 29 now, I'm fine now, really, I'm fine now, I'm fine. So Big Dad cries in the iCloud. I'm assuming that's a sort of two-sided reference. One to perhaps having a nice video call with your father and him not being able to help much and crying at the fact, I don't know if her dad is still alive. That might be what she's referring to, is that now her actual dad is sort of looking down from heaven. But also, Big Dad cries in the cloud could just be a reference to, God looking down on her and pitying her for the state she's in. Roll it up, smoke it out. Maybe you just gotta smoke a joint about it sometimes. Maybe that'll help sometimes, at least a little. It's a remedy. 1 year left to figure it out. Big brave girl, 29 now. As a fellow 29-year-old, I get exactly what she's getting at. Wanting to have all your shit together before you turn 30. Because for some reason, once you're 30, then you have no excuse for not being where you want to be in life, or not having all of your shit together by the time you turn 30. Turns out, life doesn't really start till you're 40, is what one of my friends told me. It's nice to want to figure things out. There's nothing wrong with wanting to sort of improve yourself and figure out how to sort of take care of your flaws and work on your flaws. If these sort of abstract deadlines that you're imposing on yourself are becoming more of a problem or more of an obstacle to solving those things than they are to actually motivating you to solve those things, maybe you just don't need to worry about turning 30 and still having problems. There are lots of people far past their 30s that have plenty of problems. Who's talking to them? Someone should talk to them to tell them that you gotta be a big brave girl about 20 years ago, Verse 2. Sound the alarm. I am bored. Too many friends to ignore. I'm chewing up a gummy again to overthink and tailspin for no one. I'm listening in. Sound the alarm. I am bored. I feel that because once you're bored, then you're just sort of left in your own headspace. There can be a lot of unfortunate sort of train of thought travel that can happen. You can take that train to unfortunate places if you're bored for a little bit too long. Too many friends to ignore, of you are bored, but also you have so many commitments, so many people that you are somewhat accountable to, if not career-wise, but simply friendships that are worth maintaining and deserve work and attention. And then you're chewing up a gummy again, just to, remedy that anxiety a little bit more. To overthink and tailspin for no one. Who are you doing all this overthinking for? Yourself? Are you getting helped by all this overthinking and tailspinning? Probably not. So if you're not doing it for yourself, no one else needs you to do that. So maybe don't, and now just sort of maybe lock in, listening to your friends. The second chorus is mostly the same, except for the first line, which is big stop sign in the mind now. Of like getting to a point where you suddenly become, all right, this needs to stop. I am not feeling good about where I'm at now. This needs to stop. Followed by rolling it up, smoking it out, thinking about turning 30, all that good stuff. With the bridge being, wake up, a mistake, but no, really, I'm sink into the feeling. Oh, really, I'm listening. Listen from a distance. No, really, I'm. Do you understand me? God, really, I'm. And then repeating, I'm really, or really, I'm. Then painting this picture of like both describing sinking into that panic and opening yourself up to that emotion, but then also pushing back so that no one perceives that you're starting to break down a bit. Like trying to feel a bit so that you can actually address your feelings, but not feeling it so much that it's becoming visible. Like you're visibly having a bad time. And that just crash out following into the lovely little piano outro. I don't know about you guys. I don't think she's fine. I don't know. There's just something about it. Can't put my finger on it. I think she might be having a bit of a normal one in this song. So we'll leave it at that and carry right on along to Smart Girl. Dodie's been a few different kinds of girls in her music. She's been a cool girl. She's been a special girl. Now we get to be smart. Looking forward to that. Okay. Alright, a little bit.
I can see what you're
staccato
doing,
here. Oh, do you?
and it's working.
Okay.
Smart girl. I'm taking notes undercover.
Okay.
I just love her.
Uh-huh.
Smart girl.
Sure.
Overcompensate. Never,
Okay.
never hate her.
Simply never.
Kind.
Right.
Yet I stare and compare her worth to mine.
Ah, there we are. That's what we're talking about today.
Sad girl. Don't think
what
I
is...
hide it well.
Ooh, there's some...
I know
I'm
they
just starting to
often
notice the,
tell
like,
us
scratchiness
only be kind.
in the back. It's very
Still I
unsettling.
stare and compare her worth to mine.
Is that birds? I think it sounds like it might be... It's either birds or, like, weird string scratching. What? Okay. Okay, what was that?
Do you think I'm crazy?
And now
Do you think I'm honest? Is there anything?
We're bopping a little bit.
Is this envy chronic?
Is
Am
it?
I helplessly in love with you?
Ooh, this is a little...
Or myself?
For myself. Nice. Okay, so a couple of things that I noticed there that kind of lead to the same point. So both her going for the low note, the oh myself, and also the little sort of flamboyant sweep up in the strings. One of the things that I absolutely love about Dodie as a songwriter is the way that she slips her little sort of dry, sardonic sense of humor into her music. She does a lot of making fun of herself, maybe to a fault. I'm not going to make a call one way or the other on that. Those little choices of like sounding just a little bit goofy, just a little bit silly as she talks about her habits of, unhealthily comparing herself to others. Using those little musical moments specifically to kind of make light of those unhealthy habits is such a creative and unique way to like just provide a little bit of extra flavor, a little bit of spice to your song that would be fine without those silly little choices, but the silly little choices just bring it from a perfectly fine song about comparing yourself to others unhealthily and brings it a little bit more to comparing yourself to others and being aware of the problem and doing it anyway, right? That second layer of like self-awareness sort of zooms you out on the problem as well and kind of gets you up to speed on where she's at with it. So cool.
I'll give back her haircut later, 'cause I already took it. I'm on the edge of
With the
something.
breath.
God, she's so
Ooh.
hypnotic. I could be her best friend. I could be psychotic.
Ooh, and the weird high
Just
harmonies.
the weight. It all comes from me.
Ooh. Oh, and then the...
Smart,
Ooh. Jesus.
smart,
Oh, that's cool.
smart.
Ooh. Nice. Wow.
Smart girl.
Ooh. Okay, we got a little bit of clarinet now. Ooh. Again, that little doo 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 doo. Not necessarily necessary to end the song with, but provides just that extra little seasoning of charm in there that really pulls it all together and gives the song some real character. I would say, just a quick note, just a quick encouraging critique for those big crashes. I wouldn't have minded hearing like an electric guitar in there, like some crunchy guitar. If you really want to like bring in this crazy crash out kind of sound, nothing wrong with a little scratchy, crunchy guitar in there. I believe in the Hot Mess video, I remember reading that Dodie was a little bit intimidated by trying to figure out like percussion and drums parts, and I would encourage her to also not have such fear and trepidation perhaps around electric guitars, and maybe starting to dip your toes into a bit of a rock sound. We know, as evidenced by the Fizz album, she can sound pretty good in that kind of space. So maybe it might be worth exploring. And we're only 2 songs in, so maybe she does end up exploring that kind of sound later on. But for now, we'll stick with Smart Girl. It's about comparing yourself to people to the point where you don't know where you end and they begin. Lol. Yeah, which I kind of picked up on that. Perhaps not really being happy with, whatever you've already got going on, and so maybe you're looking for something in other people or someone else specifically to kind of fill in that missing puzzle piece. And in looking for that puzzle pieces, you just take so many pieces from whomever that you start to feel less like yourself and more like this sort of ship of Theseus that's just replaced all of your parts with parts from other ships, to continue the metaphor. like naturally through one's life, you're gonna get influence from pretty much anyone that you spend a lot of time around. Like you take things from your siblings, older and younger. You take things from your parents. You take things from your friends. You take things from your partners. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like if you hear someone say something and you think that fits with, you know, my whole deal, nothing wrong with collecting extra things from other people to add to your own vernacular, your own lexicon. But if you are comparing yourself and being like, I'm not good enough, maybe I will be good enough if I become more like this other person, that's where you run into problems. Because a lot of the time, the people that you feel like you're not as good as themselves might also feel not good enough. We're all just a bunch of people that may or may not feel like complete people, and pulling pieces from other incomplete people is not going to make you more complete, unfortunately. Verse 1. I can see what you're doing, and it's working. Smart girl. I'm taking notes undercover. I just love her. Smart girl. We're starting off not necessarily giving away what the song is about right off the top, which is great. We love developing the narrative at a healthy pace, but we do get a little bit of a hint in the second half there of I'm taking notes undercover. I just love her. Smart girl. So under the guise of just liking someone, liking the cut of their jib, liking how they interact with the world, and maybe taking a few notes undercover to adapt to your own life, and just being like, I'm just a fan. I'm just inspired by this person. I would love to make things and be similar to them. That, if that's the end of it, that's fine. But the smart girl at the end implies a little bit of dishonesty and that it's not the end of it. Moving into verse 2, overcompensate. Never name it hate. I'll only be kind, yet I stare and compare her worth to mine. So now we're starting to open up, oh, this is about insecurity. This is because you don't like yourself as is, but you would never say it that way. You would never say that it's self-hate that's fueling this emulation of other people. You're just saying, oh, I just like this person. You're dressing it up as kindness, like outward kindness, when it's actually internal self-deprecation, basically. And yet, you stare, and you do in fact compare her worth to yours. And that's where the comparison is where it becomes an unhealthy thing. Verse 3, which sort of functions like more of a pre-chorus. There's not really a chorus in here, which is interesting. Good on you, Dodie, for writing a song that doesn't necessarily have chorus. Very unorthodox of you. Verse 3, I've made no means to combat it. Problematic. Sad girl. Another wrong invitation, a fixation. Sad girl. So like I said, we're bringing in the self-awareness element. I've made no means to combat it. I know it's a problem. Problematic. I'm a sad girl. I'm not doing well. I'm not fine. It's a fixation. Sad girl. Things are not good around here. Then moving into, don't think I hide it well. I know they all can tell. While only be kind. Still I stare and compare her worth to mine. Again, zooming out. She's aware of this comparison being a problem, but she's still trying to sneak it under the guise of kindness. Moving into verse 5, which is where we start crashing out a bit here. Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think I'm honest? Is there anything endearing? Is this envy chronic? Am I helplessly in love with you or myself? So, yes, starting to question yourself of like, is this actually worth doing what I'm doing? Is it actually worth putting in this effort to be someone else? Am I becoming more like you so that I am like you? Or am I doing it so that I can feel comfortable with myself? Because if you're trying to feel comfortable with yourself, becoming another person is not the way to do it. That's going to be pretty counterproductive. Is this envy chronic? Frickin' you tell me. Envy is kind of a choice. So no. By definition, it's not chronic. You have control over whether to be envious or not. To envy or to not envy. That is the question. And something that is chronic, you don't get to ask that question. Then, verse 6, practice in the mirror, smiles a little crooked. I'll give back her haircut later because I already took it. I'm on the edge of something. God, she's so hypnotic. I could be her best friend. I could be psychotic. This is where we're starting to maybe realize that this is a problem. Like, practicing in the mirror, smiles a little crooked. Like, we're realizing that we're not able to emulate everything perfectly. It's not coming across the way that we were hoping it would come across. Realizing that you're not letting this other person being themselves and be unique and appreciate them for who they are because you're trying to be them. And in trying to be them, you're actually sort of dishonoring their uniqueness, their autonomy as a person. On the edge of something, just gonna leave that there. God, she's so hypnotic. I could be her best friend. I could be psychotic is probably my favorite line there. Of just this quick thing of like, I think this is probably bad. This might be a reflection of a pretty unhealthy attitude that stretches past self-deprecation. So there, guess the weight. It all comes from me, which is great. Everything that you are, everything that takes up space as you, is in fact you. As much as we can take inspiration from other people, as much as we can borrow jokes and mannerisms from other people over time, the result will always be you. You can't stop being you until we figure out how to be robots and just detach our own parts to trade them out. I don't think I really want that kind of future. Gonna leave it at that. And we will move on to track 3, Darling Angel Baby, featuring Greta Isaac, one of the wonderful members of Fizz, and also a very talented singer-songwriter in her own right. Let's hear what Greta and Dodie have to say about this Darling Angel Baby. Alright. Starting with some strumming.
No one could ever know me like you do.
Ooh, that's nice.
Many have tried, nothing's quite like holding you. Was in the dark, but now I've seen the light.
All right.
As it turns out,
They sound really good together. Ooh, that's a crunchy strum. Ooh, all right. There's some electric crunchiness there. Ah. Ah. Uh-huh. Ooh. All right. Hell yeah. All right. I love that switch. Oh, that's so fun. With the strings in the back too, kind of giving it that drama. I'm sure she does. Ooh. Amazing. Alright, and we're layering it. I I love the layers. This is one of the reasons that I love the orchestral pop sound, is that you can get so many like rich layers on top of other things. It's listening to this shit with headphones on is such a pleasant experience. It's so like immersive, but like all of the textures are like smooth. It's like the musical equivalent, the sonic equivalent of like a really, really well sanded piece of wood, you know, and just like sliding your hand across that. You can feel every like grain line, but it's all smoothed out to the point where you're not worried about the like you're not worried about slivers. Basically, you can just slide it along and you feel everything, but it all feels so cohesive. Good ear feel. To put it that way. I just realized she's just singing meow. That's amazing. Okay, so to confirm my question at the beginning of the video, Mrs. is in fact Dodie's cat, which I would love to have a picture of the missus. Would it be possible to see? I would like to see the baby. I love a good fluffy cat. God damn it. This song really is, I appreciate this. As a cat person myself, I'm currently staring at not even my cat, just my housemate's cat that has adopted me as her godfather. If you've spent a lot of time on this channel, even just watching the album reactions, you've probably seen Krenko pop in and out of shot. So as a cat person, I truly do appreciate this song and the role that a cat or pet of any kind can have on your mental well-being and your emotional health. Verse 1. No one could know me like you do. Many have tried. Nothing's quite like holding you. Was in the dark, but now I've seen the light. As it turns out, life is simply black and white, referring to the fact that Mrs. is a black and white cat. Nothing's quite like holding a cat, I tell you. There's just something about the softness of the fur, especially a cat that like lets you hold it. There's just something about that is truly healing in a way that I could never describe. The chorus is, of course, just darling angel baby Mrs., which are probably all just lovely little pet names that, literally pet names, that Dodie has referred to her cat by. Also, Greta's role in this, providing those harmonies, was quite nice. They sound very, very good together, as I talked about in the Fizz video over on my Fourth Wall site. Verse 2. You'll never know how much you mean to me. You're such a cool cat, and we never disagree. And if you need it, babe, I'll give you space. So when you're ready, come and kiss me on the face. Now, this is a funny verse because the fact that it literally says you're such a cool cat almost makes you wonder if it's not about a cat. Maybe you're just referring to a romantic partner you're just using the old-fashioned term cool cat. But in this case, it's literally about a cat that's super cool. They're just a good cat. And these cats, they will never know how much they mean to you. That's one of the most heartbreaking things as someone that lives with cats and has in the past, had family cats. They'll never actually know the extent of the role that they play in your personal and emotional life. There was the one part in one of the Sleep Token videos. I think I was listening to Are You Really Okay? And I was really feeling some heavy feels, and I just ended up grabbing Krenko and just holding her for a bit. Krenko doesn't understand why that had to happen. Krenko didn't know why I needed to hold her at that time. She let it happen for at least a little bit. But yeah, if this cat ends up going anywhere, or I have to leave this house before Krenko does, I'm not gonna be okay. I will simply not be okay. And in second half of this verse, if you need a babe, I'll give you space. So when you're ready, come and kiss me on the face. This is how you. This is just kind of the life of owning a cat. Is cats provide affection on their own terms. You know, if you try to be affectionate to a cat when they're not ready, depending on the cat, from varying degrees, they will let you know that they're not feeling it right now. You know, anything from, you know, getting pet once and then leaving in the room to hissing or like swatting at you. They'll let you know that they're not in the mood for snuggles or pets right now. But if you give them their space, honor their autonomy as living creatures, they will pay you back in tenfold by simply being adorable and having a nice little nap on the corner of your bed while you make an album reaction. And then the bridge is just, she loves her edamame, which I'm sure she does. Great, good for her. Good for Mrs. That's great. That's all I've got to say about Darling Angel Baby. Congratulations to Dodie and Mrs. For being in each other's lives. Let's keep moving to track 4, Hold Fire. Are we holding a flame, or are we like, or is this the command of like, hold your fire? It might be both. Ooh. Ooh. That's a bass line.
Forgive me.
Alright. For what? Oh, okay.
Though when I found you in the back of a room,
Okay.
you wanna talk about it.
Maybe I did.
But no one wants to talk about it.
I'll talk about it.
Did I fuck this? Break the boundary again?
Did you?
Really the only one who thinks is pretend.
Okay.
I wanna talk about it.
You can talk about it.
Talk about it.
I want to talk about it.
Lines in the sand, don't understand.
Okay.
What if we removed the mask? Say these
Ooh.
moments were a loss. Surely then to what
Ooh, with the reverse snap
We
in.
were feeling better after dark. Can't I think we missed the mark? Try again.
Ooh.
Get stuck.
Ooh. Ooh, what are you hitting there? Is that like are you just like hitting the rim of the drum? That's an interesting sound. I like it.
Now that you I have this quote.
Okay.
I find it tricky as it pick me to just live on my way and be appropriate. Feeling better after dark. Can't I think we missed the mark? Try again when it gets dark.
Okay. Okay. I think I get it. Getting a little wavy there. Yes, you can. That's fair. I'm down for it. Nice. Oh, that was cool. Again, another sort of stompy, like, very, like, dark, rich kind of feeling there. I loved that. Wasn't able to quite pick up on this, but I was able to sort of figure out a few things. I think the song might be about sort of wanting to have, like, sort of honest, dark, like very frank conversations about life, and running into resistance, and then sort of starting to learn that you can't just talk to anyone about anything, right? But wanting to just be able to skip the small talk about your fears, your insecurities, just open up right away, and learning how to navigate how to get into those conversations. Let's take a look at verse 1. Forgive me, I wrongly assumed that when I found you in the back of a room, you'd want to talk about it, but no one wants to talk about it. Did I fuck this? Break the boundary again? Really the only one who thinks it's pretend. I want to talk about it, but no one wants to talk about it. This is sort of like Dodie seeking out people that seem like they would want to have these honest conversations, really talk about like the dark, vulnerable shit. Does not seem interested in just sort of holding pleasant small talk, which I totally get. I'm also not a big fan of the small size talk. Found you in the back of a room, you'd want to talk about it. Maybe noticed someone that was already like hanging back at a party and wasn't really talking to anyone, and kind of read that as, oh, this is someone that is not interested in like shallow conversation in a living room that everyone else is participating in. They're not really interested in that, so they've fallen back into a corner of the room. But seems like that person also didn't want to talk about it. And now that you've expressed desire for wanting to talk about it, you feel like you've broken a boundary. You feel like you've violated some rule. Lines in the sand, don't understand. Don't even get me freaking started, Dodie, on the lines in the sand that you don't understand. All these unspoken social mores and conventions that no one talks about, but everyone seems to be beholden to. But if you don't know about these unspoken lines in the sand, and you don't know about them because they're freaking unspoken, but then you're being held accountable for rules that you were never made aware of. So frustrating. So frustrating. The entire slice of her listening audience that falls on the autism spectrum can relate to that specific line. Then the chorus. What if we remove the masks? Again, autistic community raising a grand cheer to removing our masks. Say these moments were our last. Surely then to what you asked, you would want to hear it. Feeling better after talk, can't help think we missed the mark. Try again when it gets dark. With the refrain being hold fire. So basically proposing this hypothetical, like, what if this was our last day on Earth? What would you want to talk about? Can we talk about that now? You would want to hear about these things. You would feel better about it. I can't help but think that we're missing something. We've missed the mark with social interactions. Let's try again when it gets dark. Both a reference to try again when, we're in the comfort of our own homes, when maybe in the intimate setting of a date, like a romantic setting, when you can be a little bit more honest, perhaps. Or when it gets dark emotionally, like you can try again when you're suddenly in a state of crisis or mental unwellness. Those are the only moments when suddenly people seem okay to have these very, very honest and sometimes fraught conversations. But until then, we have to hold fire, which I guess could be interpreted both ways. Of you're holding fire, as in you're holding your fire, as in not, releasing the things that you want to say, but you're also holding on to these burning questions that you have for other people, these burning things that you want to say, and holding that fire can be unpleasant, can be painful. It feels great to sort of be able to release that. Then verse 2. Not that you asked. We're done waiting for people to ask. Not that you asked, I have this quirk. I find it tricky as a pick-me to just leave all my work and be appropriate. Then you won't want to talk about it. And I don't know if that could ever be me. And people chit-chat why that potentially might be. That's inappropriate. Hey, and I don't want to talk about it. So maybe being perceived as someone that like wants to have deep conversations with like anyone or everyone, maybe that's being perceived as pick-me behavior, that referring to people that are just trying to sort of suck up to whoever they feel has social power or clout. Like you just want to seem closer to those people is kind of the way I understand that. To hold that small talk is then not necessarily going to lead organically into having those real conversations, right? You won't actually want to talk about it. And I don't know if that could ever be me. I don't know if I want to like just sit down and talk about the weather or what movies or anything that you've seen recently if it doesn't mean that you're actually going to get into the real shit. Sometimes talking about like media that you like or movies that you've seen or different things, more casual things, can lead into those conversations, but it's not a guarantee, you know? And Dodie's not sure if she wants to have to spend all of that time having these shallow conversations if it means that it never actually ends up getting to anything genuine. And people talk about why that potentially might be that it's inappropriate, and she's just not interested in that. She just wants to get to the hard conversations. She's done like walking on eggshells around why people are anxious about like real conversations. She just wants to get right to it, which I totally get. I feel you there. The outro, alternating hold fire and these two lines, can I convert you to an open kind of conversation? And then no, I can't promise you we'll practice it in moderation. Can I pitch you this idea of just being honest, just being vulnerable with each other? If you don't want to do it a lot, that's okay. I might want to do it more often than you want. So just be aware of that and let that influence our relationship. I feel this so much. I understand, like, sometimes there's just a lot of social navigation if you want to end up having a conversation with someone that's actually, like, engaging, like the conversation is engaging. There have been so many times where I've been, like, sitting at a dinner table or in a living room, just kind of zoning out because I have nothing to contribute to the conversation at hand. Not to say that I have nothing to contribute as a person, just maybe the conversation is about something that I have nothing to contribute to. Not that I need to contribute anything, so that I'm fine. I'm happy to sit for a little bit. If then that sitting is rewarded with maybe we actually talk about something that matters to me, which is not to say that like everyone has to have the same tastes in things as I do, but I would hope that like a conversation can arrive at something more human and more relatable than what, you know, dinner conversations can often be. I hope that makes sense. Let's keep going. Track 5. Tall kids. I don't think it needs saying that I am myself a tall kid. I don't know if I would call myself a kid. I refer to Dodie as a kid, and she's slightly older than me. So I guess we'll refer to each other as tall kids. I don't know how tall Dodie is. Maybe we'll learn in the song. I'm looking forward to relating to whatever this tall kid song has to do with.
Hey,
Hi.
can you hear me from my bed?
If you're in your bed, and I can hear you now.
In my head.
No.
Did you see me on the ground?
No.
I was brave today, are you proud?
Yes.
Lately I've been running fast.
Okay. How fast?
Some kind to grump what I ask. Just one more thing, since you hear me loud and clear. Let me be with the tall kids.
Ooh, that
I
bass.
will make
Ooh.
it worth your while.
Oh, you want to be with the tall
They will
kids.
see something
Okay.
in me. No, they won't run a mile.
Okay.
'Cause look at me now, I'm high as a cloud, just dreaming about the day when the
Ooh, the atmospheric shit going on here.
Do the tall kids wanna play?
I want to play. Ooh, I like that piano.
Make me magic, make them care.
Ooh, good low note there.
I'll keep praying that fair. Oh, make me magic, make them
The waves of sound.
I'll keep praying. 'Cause look at me now, I'm high as a cloud.
Ooh, with the reverb.
Oh,
I like
look at
that.
me now, I'm high as a cloud.
Okay. All right. That's a choice.
Just look at me now, I'm high
And then
as
we're
a
back
cloud.
into it.
Just dreaming about the day when the tall kids wanna play. Do the tall kids wanna play? Do the tall?
Ooh, and then we're slowing down a bit. Damn. Click of the piano pedal, I think. Again, such immersive music, like so much just pure atmosphere going on here. Such an experience to listen to with headphones on. Tall Kids is about being a kid and praying to God in bed. I used to have this imaginary dream where I was magic, and I would fly around and save everyone, but in reality, I was just very small and not popular. Oh no, Dodie! Very small and not popular, me before I hit my growth spurt as well. Damn, suddenly I'm relating more to the non-tall kid. Crazy. Imagine that. There were parts of this that made me feel like some of the song was a little bit of a prayer, or at least like addressing God in one way or another. Let's take a look here. Verse 1. Hey God, hey, can you hear me from my bed? Do you know what's in my head? Did you see me on the ground? I was brave today. Are you proud? Lately, I've been running fast. So kind to grant what I asked. Just one more thing, since you hear me loud and clear, moving into the chorus, let me be with the tall kids. I will make it worth your while. They will see something in me. No, they won't run a mile. They can do that really quickly because the tall kids have long legs. Because look at me now, I'm high as a cloud, just dreaming about the day when the tall kids want to play. Do the tall kids want to play? So yeah, very, very like childish, like childlike, I should say. Just like, hey God, if you're there and if you can hear me, I've been like so good lately. Like I'm such a good person, but like if you could like make the tall kids like me a bit more, I think I'm pretty cool, but I don't know if anyone else realizes that I'm cool. So if you could help them notice that I'm actually pretty cool, that'd be great. Very, very relatable experience. I totally get it, of just like feeling like you're on the outs, but not really knowing what you can do within your own power to change that. Then we're getting into some extra things here with verse 2. Wait, God, while I've got you on the horn, send the sun to Mum someday. God, she hates it when it's gray. Just remember how she laughed when you sent the sun over last. do all you need to do first. I don't know how this works. Just after that, since you hear me loud and clear, moving back into the chorus. After asking for, a little bit more social fortune, Dodie also takes a moment to be like, hey, while I'm making requests, if you could send a little bit more sunlight, because it helps my mom. She feels better when it's sunny. Do all you need to do first. I don't know how this works. Like, if you've got, it's the classic like millennial Gen Z, like no worries if not kind of mindset, which is so sad, but it's I find it kind of funny to kind of plug that in with the bridge being, make me magic, make them care. I'll keep praying. Is that fair? Make me magic, make me better than I actually am in an inexplicable way, and also make them care. Because, like, we as people can't make anyone care about you. Like, you can be a part of their life and be yourself around them, and maybe that will endear you to them, but it's not a guarantee. So, in this, like, sort of childlike mindset that Dodie is writing this song from, it's just like, hey God, since you're the only one that's really capable of influencing people's thoughts, could you like put in a good word for me? Like, just, you can make me magic, you can make me better, or you can just make them like me more. Is that okay? Is that alright? Is that fair? It's very considerate, a touching amount of like sensitive and accommodating for God. And as someone that used to, feel the same desire, perhaps made a similar prayer at one point when I was younger, the tall kids, they'll come around on their own time. And if they don't, you don't need to worry about it. Be your own tall kid. Again, I don't know how tall Dodie is at this point. Be your own tall kid. Be cool for yourself. That'll help way more than worrying about the opinions of the other people you perceive as cool. Which is also then, circling back to the points covered in Smart Girl. Let's keep going to track 6, titled "I Feel Bad for You, Dave." I believe this was the first single that Dodie released preceding this album, and I've tried my best to avoid it up until now, but I'm very excited to finally hear it.
Okay, one more time.
Ooh. Oh, this is I like this tempo. Ooh. A little bit of bossa nova feel. Nice. Alright.
Dave 079 on the couch, he finds a little fire in his heart.
Does he?
Thumb sunglass, he writes what no one asked and feels a little better, feels a little clever.
Oh, does he?
Dave is the kind of guy to lose a friend over a board game. He doesn't stubs his toe, lets everyone know that he can do a push-up, then he'll do a push-up.
Amazing.
Dave, I feel bad for you. Dave, don't you know it could be better, Dave?
Now, she's used this sort of like jazz adjacent Parisian sort of sound before. I don't know if I would call this particular sound Parisian. Sort of jazz adjacent genres have always been in Dodie's orbit. She's used them pretty much the whole time. I remember specifically the song "You" really has that sort of like European folk pop sort of sound, very like sauntery. It's nice to hear it back in this album as well.
Dave from work does push-ups in the dirt, maybe 2 impress her. Maybe it's his temper.
We're doing a little storytelling here. Okay.
Type a name into a search bar and she can confirm.
Okay.
Dave 079 is an asshole of mine.
Oh, is he?
The fire's gone. Didn't last that long.
Oh. Bum, 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 bum. Very nice. I'm sorry, is that a double bass solo? Oh! Oh, that's lovely. Oh, that's such a nice sound and feel. All right, piano. Oh, we're dipping really into jazz here. Very nice. That's very pretty. Are we fading out? No. No, don't fade out. I want to hear the rest of that solo. Well, for the most part, that was lovely. But I am going to have to take some entirely non-existent points off for the fade out, and another point off for it being a fade out during a solo. I want to hear the dang solo, Dodie. I want to hear the solo, D. I want to hear the music. You can find a way to end the song nice and sharply in the solo, and I can't find any like sort of textual reason for why a fade out would be appropriate. Just end the song. You don't have to fade it out. And I want to hear the rest of that. I wanted to hear the rest of that solo. It's just a pet peeve of mine. Otherwise, the song was lovely and very, very funny. I enjoyed it quite a bit up until that point. Did not ruin the song for me in the least bit. The song, being a song about the ego of people who feel as though they lack power, so try to gain it in ways that ironically have the opposite effect. We all know a Dave. So Dave himself, I suppose, is not necessarily a real person in himself, is a metaphorical figure for the type person that I think we've all seen something of, or perhaps have encountered with, hopefully not had to interact with, but perhaps you've had the displeasure of meeting or talking to a Dave. So let's get into a little bit about Dave and what makes him the way he is. In verse 1, Dave 079, which is, I guess, a username, on the couch. He finds a little fire in his heart. Thumbs on glass, he writes what no one asked, and feels a little better, feels a little clever. Dave is the kind of guy to lose a friend over a board game he doesn't get. Stubs his toe, lets everyone know that he can do a push-up, then he'll do a push-up. Which is such a funny illustration of this kind of man, this truly like over masculine but also deeply insecure kind of man. Gets outraged on social media and writes stupid little claims, little rants that no one has asked for. Thinks he's really gotten the last laugh, instead of actually losing the respect of everyone that has now read what he's written. Is also the kind of person that will not simply cede defeat as a result of, being out of practice or still needing to get good at a thing. Doesn't allow himself to be bad at things and will never admit to being bad at things. Instead, flips out at a friend for losing a board game simply because he hasn't gotten good at it. and doesn't want to admit that. Stubs his toe, and instead of simply experiencing that hardship, that pain, overcompensates by letting everyone know that he can in fact do one push-up, and proceeds to, just to prove his point, proceeds to do one push-up, with the chorus being, Dave, I feel bad for you. Dave, don't you know it could be better? Dave. I really appreciate Dodie writing this song. As someone that would like to think I don't have most of the habits that you might find in your average Dave, I know that it could be better. If I simply acknowledge that I'm not always good at everything, not a perfect man, you know, if I have something unkind to say, chances are I'll hesitate to say it, not just to make myself feel better. I don't do push-ups when I stub my toe. I just am upset about the pain, because stubbing your toe hurts. And I am in fact a human made of flesh, as is Dave. Moving on to verse 2. Another character has entered the song. Underscore I am Kate, another underscore, finds a little fire in her heart. Dave from work does push-ups in the dirt. Maybe to impress her, maybe it's his temper, might be a bit of column A, column B. But Kate is the kind of girl to type a name into a search bar and she can confirm Dave079 is an asshole online, and oh, the fire's gone, didn't last that long. So maybe this is a short exchange or an interaction, if you could call it that, over like a dating app, or maybe they've met in person and are just getting to know each other. He seems to be doing push-ups in the dirt specifically for her, possibly, unless it's for his temper. During some sort of downtime, she's able to look up and find out about Dave, and in fact find out that he's not that cool, and whatever attraction she may have had for him, because he does do push-ups, so he's probably a relatively fit lad, but that's about as far as it goes. And the fire is gone, and didn't last that long because he didn't really have a whole lot of else character-wise to offer. And that's really the tragic fact about Dave's, is that they put so much effort into these silly little frivolous traits that they think make them valuable as men, when those are the exact things that will be acknowledged as deal breakers for other people that may want to get to know him. It could be better, Dave. I feel for you. You're spending all this time and effort and maybe money trying to make yourself better in ways that don't actually make you better. In fact, they probably make you kind of worse, because they're taking away your time from the ways that you could actually be improving upon yourself and maybe being a little bit of a real, genuine, vulnerable human being. Because real, genuine, vulnerable human beings are kind of attractive. They're kind of cute. And that's all I've got to say about that. We are heading straight into the back half now with track 7, Now. Something's happening now, right now, and it's the song. All right, more strumming. I think I've said some version of this earlier, but I love the fact that Dodie leaves in all of these little like practical musician like instrument sounds. Like you hear the notes that the instrument is making and everything else. You hear the like sliding of the strings, and you hear the pressing and the decompressing of the pedals in the piano, and even sometimes the hammers on the piano strings. You hear it all, and it creates this very, very intimate sound that is very, very much key in Dodie's music. I'm such a big fan of that that element of it.
Rush hour, golden glow.
A little bit of echo here.
With a head out the window. There's a light on at home, and I feel alright. Midnight, I grew bored of a tiny world and giant thoughts. I decided alone, I'm gonna be alright. I decided alone, I'm gonna be alright.
Hell yeah. Ooh, the staggered layering harmonies. Amazing. Amazing. Getting a little bit dark there.
But that's not now.
A lovely little tableau. That was great. Especially like looking at the lyrics as it went on and kind of realizing that this is truly just a bit of a break. And just a moment of hey, things are nice right now. Right now. Verse 1 being rush hour, golden glow, happy as a dog with a head out the window. There's a light on at home, and I feel alright. And the chorus, midnight and I grew bored of a tiny world and giant thoughts. I decided alone, I'm gonna be alright. I think I will simply enjoy life as best I can in the moment that I am in, which is not a new thing to write a song about, you know, living in the moment and enjoying the moment as it is. And there are different ways to explain it. Some people, you know, express the live in the moment in a very upbeat sort of tone, but I like that idea of doing it very slowly because I think that like sort of swaying slowness accounts for this preceding almost sadness. Like it sounds like it could be a sad song, but you listen to the words and you realize that it's just trying to soak in all of the beauty in that moment as you can, and being aware of the fact that it's necessary to enjoy the moment because that moment is temporary. Like, you know that it will not always be as nice as it is right now, and that's why you need to appreciate it while you have it. Verse 2, sunshine, big trees, God, you look like you're in a movie, everyone knows me and I feel alright. It's sometimes just your environment and the space that you're in and the way that the sun comes through the trees affect you in such a way that suddenly you feel a little bit better about other elements of your life, right? Maybe it's just walking through a nice park and feeling that picturesque moment that you're in that makes you also think, you know, today's quite nice and got a lot of friends and they know me very deeply and they like me, and that's good. Everyone knows me and I feel alright. It's great. It's so nice to have those moments, not so that you can hold on to those moments for as long as you can, but simply to acknowledge them and know that that moment will end, but there will also be more of those moments to come, as long as you're aware of them and allow yourself to be open to recognizing them when they come about, as expressed by verse 3. One day, far away, bad things come, but that's not now. Waves come, they will go and come again, but that's not now. Right now, you're gonna be alright. That's great. I love that. For an artist that is so good at writing sad songs in the same key, same tempo, with the same sort of jangly acoustic guitar. This exact sound in this song could have been much sadder, but she decided to use that same sound to express just a moment of beauty and the act of appreciating that moment of beauty. Let's keep going. Track 8, The List. Not to be confused with Santa's List, I'm assuming. Not the one that gets checked twice. I don't know how often this list gets checked, but I don't think this is a Christmas song. I will be very surprised if it is.
Isla recommended Cole to me. He
Oh,
sounded sweet.
okay.
So I hung him up on the door.
Oh.
And seeing as our homes are pretty far and you broke my heart, I think of Cole more and more. Angel told me rather to than none. Honestly, she said you're owed some fun. Maybe best that we don't try again. Such a shame that a start means an end.
Ooh, hello, strings. Ooh,
Last
that's
October,
pretty.
I got mad. You ignored our plans, so I drank with Joe all night.
Okay. Ooh.
And to
Oh!
return, I still felt the
God
heat,
damn!
so I turned with
That's
him.
pretty.
He mustn't think me very nice.
Oh. All right. Hello. Hello, Woodwind.
Weekends have my hands in Molly's hair, edging closer in the open air. All the feelings coming flooding back. No, I don't wanna have to look at that.
Ooh, nice little low piano there. Very good. This particularly feels like a little bit more musical number
Thomas calls
flavor.
me when it's still outside, and my face looks tired, but I only care a bit.
Ooh, the plucking.
I truly
Very
see
nice.
him in a softer light. Still wonder if we might, but Christ, I cannot count on
Oh.
it. I flirt with Katie down the lens, and I pretend I want her more than you.
Oh, damn. Okay, that's a line. Alright, nice little instrumental outro here. Oh, slowing down now. Ooh. My goodness. That was probably one of the more, like, musically rich tracks on the album. I was mainly listening to just all of the stuff that the stringed instruments were doing. That was so nice. The list, I think, being Dodie sort of reflecting on her various past romantic ventures and experiences and how they get connected and how those relationships turned out, and just sort of thinking about the role that her history has in her own sort of self-esteem, right? Like how do you hold that in your mind as someone that, you know, has had quite a few relationships begin and end in various ways, some more cleanly than others perhaps, and how do you kind of reconcile yourself with that? I don't know what her answer is. I don't know if she arrives at an answer, which is fair. I just found the sort of like going through all of these short little illustrations and pictures of these different relationships was very interesting. Starting with verse 1, Isla recommended Cole to me. He sounded sweet, so I hung him up on the door. And seeing as our homes are pretty far and you broke my heart, I think of Cole more and more. Isla recommended Cole, so he sounded sweet, so I hung him up on the door, as in like he put his number on the door or something. I don't know. And then it seems like she and Isla had a falling out, and since that happened, she started thinking more of Cole. The remnant of this unended friendship or relationship or whatever it was with Isla, like Cole's phone number or his picture or whatever, becomes this artifact of that other relationship. Moving into verse 2. Angel told me rather two than none. Honestly, she said, you're owed some fun. Maybe best that we don't try again. Such a shame that a start means an end. I'm not entirely sure what the two rather than none refers to. I don't know, maybe that's referring to like a threesome. Owed some fun as in like, let's just try it. Let's see how it goes. You're owed some fun. Like if it goes well, then great. You got to have that experience, and that could be a lot of fun. But the last two lines, maybe best that we don't try again, imply that maybe it didn't go super well, and that thing not going well also meant things ending with Angel. And that start, like that sort of rendezvous of attempting this meetup with different people in an attempt to also get to know Angel and end from the get-go, right? That's tragic. That's unfortunate. Verse 3. Last October, I got mad. You ignored our plans, so I drank with Joe all night. And 2 weeks on, I still felt his heat, so I turned my cheek. He mustn't think me very nice. Dodie was going to get together with someone else that is not named, and because that person ditched, Dodie ended up having a night with Joe, and they hooked up, and that there was just a little bit too much going on, and in response, Dodie ended up neglecting that relationship as well, and so this weird sort of cycle of Dodie was ignored and then ended up, as a result of that, meeting another person and then proceeded to have weird feelings about that relationship and proceeded to ignore him. That's a very like honest and like vulnerable story to tell. That's a very human like sequence of events, you know? She says he mustn't think me very nice. You know, not my proudest moment. They ended up ghosting this guy that things seemed to go pretty well with, almost too well. Sometimes we can react to things like that in sort of a counterintuitive way. Verse 4. The weekends have my hands in Molly's hair, edging closer in the open air, older feelings coming flooding back. No, I don't want to have to look at that. So this is a totally different thing. This is you're hanging out with Molly, and there's clearly some sort of chemistry, some sort of feeling that maybe got addressed previously in their relationship, but those old feelings that they had done away with coming flooding back, but you don't want to have to look at that. You don't want to have to think about all of that. We're looking at sort of like Dodie's opening up about a lot of the different relationship dynamics she's experienced with different people. And I like that. That's a really cool idea to write a song about, remarking and reflecting on the different dynamics that you've found yourself in romantically, both good and bad and in between, right? With the chorus being, brag and boast as I might, I still sleep alone every night. Take a hint, let me go, hold on harder, I don't know. Do you cast a net as wide as I? Do you keep a list for a lonely mind? And does it feel even colder to hold her when you miss me? So this is finally like Dodie sort of addressing the listener or the audience perhaps, being like, yeah, I've got a history, I've been with a lot of people. It might sound like bragging or boasting, but the fact is most nights I'm sleeping alone. Take a hint that I'm not doing everything perfect. Let me go. Maybe don't hold on to me so tightly. Perhaps she's saying that to her fans of like not to idolize her too much, but also to other people that might be romantically interested in her, of like, just letting you know, I'm still learning how to do this shit. You know, I'm not perfect about it. Still trying to figure out how to navigate everything. Do you cast a net as wide as I? Right? Do you have the same length of history as I do? Do you keep a list for a lonely mind? Do you hold space in your mind for all of the past people that you've been with and not been with and almost been with? Does it feel even colder to hold her when you miss me? Her, I wonder if is the list just this like personalized compilation of all of the people that you've been with? Like, when you are lonely, do you think about the people that you have been with? Does that provide any comfort? Like, all of these experiences that you've had with past people, does that provide any like insight or comfort when you're feeling lonely? And it's an interesting question. I don't think she answers, and I don't think needs an answer, but I think it is worth reflecting on. I think it's a question that will probably have a different answer depending on who's being asked, which is kind of what makes the open-endedness of it okay. Everyone's going to have their own personal answer to these questions in the chorus. There are a few more verses, but I think I'm going to keep moving here to track 9. Different how? What? We're just different? Built different? Just a little bit different? There we go. Okay. Ooh, very like anticipatory piano.
I wake up on your ceiling.
Oh, that's weird. That ain't right.
Something's pulling my hair. It got caught in the fixture. I'm not sure should be there.
No, probably not.
Is it morning or is that the light in the rain? No more, no more.
Alright. Where are we going from here?
God, you really look.
Ooh, that's a thumpy piano. Ooh, that's a dark chord right there. Alright, and we're opening it up. Okay. Ooh, okay. Damn. Damn, okay.
All I loved has gone sour. Worried out to the bone. Think I'll get off the ride now and take myself home.
Leaving a lot of empty space there. Jeez. Oh, that was a lot for being under 3 minutes. Jeez. Well, I didn't quite understand what was going on there till some point in the middle, closer to the end there. Something tells me this is sort of about a relationship where, for one reason or another, you sort of wake up and realize that things have soured, or the person that you're with is not the person that you remember sort of falling in love with. But it starts off with just this feeling of something's not right, something's different, but you can't quite put your finger on whether it's good or bad different right away. Verse 1, I wake up on your ceiling. Something's pulling my hair. It got caught in the fixture. I'm not sure should be there. Verse 2, no, that's not where I left you. Now your bed's on the wall. Is it morning or is that the light in red? No more. No more. Yeah, we're waking up in different places. There's this very sudden and apparent disconnect of Dodie's waking up on the ceiling with her hair in the fan or light fixture or whatever, and the other person is on their beds on the wall in a different place, both like physically and mentally, quickly realizing that this is bad, wanting no more, no more. Verse 3, God, you really look different. Did I do something wrong? Like, did I do something that caused this change? Followed by where we get pretty brutal here. Verse 4, oh, I wouldn't choose you out of 1,000. God help the girl who gets you. My beautiful boy, twisted and angry. Bring back the angels. Realizing like this person that you thought you knew has very suddenly shown a very, very dark side to them, or perhaps like the way that they were acting up until this point was not their true self or whatnot, but now you know this other side that is not what you were looking for. Fly. Verse 5, all I loved has gone sour, wore it out to the bone. Think I'll get off the ride now and take myself home. There's a couple of bits there that simultaneously make this feel like a long-term thing of like realizing this long-term change of like all I loved has gone sour. Everything that I thought I loved about this person has somehow expired, wore it out to the bone. This like gradual wearing away of something. But then the think I'll get off the ride now and take myself home, almost illustrating like this, like you've woken up with this person, like maybe just after the first night, and being like, I'm just gonna go home instead of letting this become more than it needs to be, right? That's really, really tragic. Sometimes you just have an encounter in life, whether it's a short-term happening or, you know, a certain length of relationship, and it goes a certain way that you just want to write about your experience of it. And it doesn't have to be about a bigger thing or anything. You can just write your experience about it and people will relate to that. And I think this is the case. Hope Dodie's doing okay since whatever that was inspired by. Hope she's doing all right. Now, let's keep going to track 10, The End. This is not the end of the album. This is track 10 out of 12. So I don't know right away what it's the end of, but hopefully we find out. All right. More of the acoustic guitar.
There's a weight on the track.
Right.
That's a sign, no turning back. Will you stay for a wave and then go fast?
Okay.
It's a death. It's
Ooh,
the end.
hello.
I'll never see you like this again. What if this is a line just like the last time?
Alright. Ooh, okay.
Oh,
Very tense strings there.
I don't know what that's about. Let me figure it out.
Sure.
Are you seeing this? Aren't you?
I'm hearing it.
scared? Don't you know what this means?
No. No, I do not. Ooh.
Swallow where someone laughs, so aware this is the past. Now we'll forget all the depth we will know. It's a death, it's the end.
That thump gets me every time. Jeez. Okay. Paying attention again. Ooh, I love those sweeping notes there. Very nice. More of those instrument sounds. Okay, ooh. Very, very light kick drum. Alright. Ooh. Ooh, we got some group vocals coming in. We're building. Okay, not that big of a build, but still something. Nice. All right. That was the longest track on the album. Just about 5 minutes there. And oh boy, I did read the little about here. So this is, she said on Instagram, this one is called The End, about when a breakup is so big it feels like a death. The video's cover art also reads, POV, you're in the biggest breakup of your life and you just can't do it. Which I was kind of picking up on. I was feeling very like momentous breakup vibes after listening through the new Hayley Williams album. I'm learning to pick up on the ways that people are starting to imply breakups in their music. So I'm starting to get a little bit more fluent in that language. Verse 1, there's a weight on the track. That's the sign, no turning back. Will you stay for a wave and then go fast? It's a death. It's the end. I'll never see you like this again. What if this is a line, just like the last time? So that we've got a little bit of we're a little bit in denial at the beginning here. Will you stay for a wave and then go fast? Like, will you sort of just say, like, wave goodbye and then you're just gone? What if this is a line just like the last time? Maybe this isn't actually the end. Maybe I don't need to worry about the weight of this ending. Going into chorus. Oh, mad now. I don't know what that's about. Let me figure it out. Are you seeing this? Aren't you scared? Don't you know what this means? Feeling like this is a bigger deal than it might actually be, right? Like you're mad now. Like you feel like someone is killing you even though they're just ending things for their own sake, and now you're mad about it, which is perfectly valid. The don't you know what this means, the person that it's being said to probably has a better idea of what it means than the other person, to a certain extent. Of like, the other person is just like, yeah, I know what it means. It means we're not going to see each other anymore, and that's what it means. And then the other person, the Dodie's point of view, saying, don't you realize that this is bigger than just a breakup? This is a bigger thing than just us breaking up, when it's not. It's just a really rough breakup. And that's valid. It's okay that it feels that way, but it is just a breakup. Verse 4 is where we get into the sort of fighting of it. Oh, if this is the end, I don't want it. I will fight with every breath till there's nothing left. I know that this is the deal, but if I'm honest, I will cheat. Let me go again. Let me go again. There's this like desperation that you don't necessarily always see in breakup songs. Dodie is sort of showing this like ugly, like stubborn side of just like, I will not allow this to end because I can't handle the idea of it ending. I will cheat. let me go again, and when in fact that's not how it works. With the bridge / refrain being, my brain is the biggest thing I know, this feels too big for it to hold. Which is a great way of putting it. Like, you can't imagine anything bigger than you feel like your brain can hold, and this thing feels bigger than you can hold in your brain. Like, you don't feel like you can comprehend the fullness of what this breakup means for you in your life, right? It's such an all-encompassing element in your life that to have that end, you don't actually know how to picture that. I feel that very much. I've been there. You get to the other side of it, and life does go on. It's rough for at least a little bit, but if you keep kind of like letting yourself be open to life continuing and finding beauty and joy after this end, you will in fact find that that this breakup is not the biggest thing in the universe. You know, your brain is not the biggest thing you know, and this is not in fact too big to be held in it. This thing is in fact smaller than your brain, and your brain is not even the biggest thing in the world. But it feels that way, and I really, really like this expression of that feeling. Very, very sensitive and empathetic way of writing that. I like that a lot. Let's keep going. Track 11, The Answer. I think we've had some questions in a few parts of the album, and maybe there's just the one answer, and we're about to find out what it is. Ooh, hello, percussion. Ooh, oh, I like a little clipped laughing, I think.
Guys, not to moan, but you're being too loud.
Okay.
My dog, just settle down.
Okay.
You better watch your step. Do you wanna know what's next? I met the angels and they told me this. Put 9 in your lunchbox, love in a brush. Skip 3 times on your way to anywhere. Laugh with the reaper. He's a keeper, best friends with a block.
I was hoping if we were gonna get another bop in this far into the album. And oh boy, thank gosh. And by gosh I mean Dodie. Thank Dodie. She chose to put this silly little track second to last. Oh, this is great. I'm very much enjoying these rhythmic choices.
People get primal.
Okay.
Step out of the triangle.
Okay, piano. All right, piano. Oh.
Don't forget to eat a cookie, say no thank you. Make a patty of the ground, tell them what you found out.
Okay. Oh, I like the guitar there. Again, so talking about sounds and textures, this is another thing that I love that Dodie will occasionally do on her more upbeat songs. She'll just have various instruments fill like different parts, different 8th notes. Like the drums will be doing their pattern, and a different instrument will be doing a different similar sort of staccato pattern, and it all fills it out so that you're always feeling this little bumpy and like fun ride, puttering yourself along. And it feels so good. It's very satisfying. It's like the musical equivalent of like popping bubble wrap. You know, it's so satisfying in a completely different way than like rubbing a smooth piece of wood. What is this? Oh, little reverse sound, I think. Ooh. And the smooth vocals over top of that, like syrup. little bit.
In the end, you'll survive, just survive. Yeah, I think the answer. It looks
Snap
like
right back. Very good.
So dig your own grave and the sun on the other side. And all of your vices are all of your spices.
Nice. I like that.
Good things end again and again.
Ooh. Oh, that's enough. That's a vocal effect. Okay. Okay, Daft Punk over here.
Guys, not too long, but you're being too loud. I was walking my dogs and I've just settled down.
Nice. Very good. Nice. Amazing. I did not pay attention to the words or try to piece together what the song is about. I was just busy appreciating all the intricacies of all of that. What's going on here? First one is, guys, not to moan, but you're being too loud. I am walking my dogs and they've just settled down. You better watch your step. Oops. Do you want to know what's next? Yes. I met the angels and they told me this. Moving into verse 2. Put an orange in your lunchbox. Love in a post box. Skip 3 times on your way to anywhere. Laugh with the reaper. He's a keeper. Best friends with a black hole. I think I was trying too hard. I think I was frying on lard. I think I'll be doing the same damn thing I do every year. Disappoint, reappoint, souvenir. What the hell are you talking about, Dodie? You're really giving me a run for my money with these lyrics here. That it's definitely about something. It's so, like, there's so much specifics going on here with the walking the dogs and the orange in your lunchbox. What are we getting at? What are we being too loud about? Let's keep going. Chorus. Yeah, I think the answer, it looks like a horseshoe. So dig your own grave and there's sun on the other side. When people get primal, step out of the triangle, it looks fucking ridiculous. Okay, so maybe this is about, like, figuring out how to be normal about human interactions, like just learning how to be, like, mature in difficult social situations, of just reminding yourself of the good things to do, like just put an orange in your lunchbox, love in a post box, like take care of yourself, tell the people you love that you love them, skip 3 times on your way to anywhere, just like wherever you're going, make sure that you're having fun at some point, laugh with the reaper, like get comfortable with darkness. He's gonna be around. He's a keeper. Okay, I think I'm keying into here. Best friends with a black hole. Yeah, be an old friend with darkness. Trying too hard, frying on lard. You know, you're banging on cylinders a little bit too hard. I think I'll be doing the same damn thing I do every year. Disappoint, reappoint, souvenir. So make a mistake, try it again, keep the memory as a souvenir, learn from it. I think I'm starting to piece it together. When people get primal, step out of the triangle. It looks fucking ridiculous. Step out of the triangle of, like, you don't need to fix everyone's problems. Step out of the triangle. Triangulating yourself into those things never helps. It makes you look ridiculous. Is maybe what she's getting at. Maybe this is just some good advice that Dodie has thrown into one song. Refrain, why worry? Don't forget to eat your greens. Say no, thank you, please. Nothing's real. Pick a penny off the ground. Tell them what you found out. Situating yourself in a way that you don't take life too seriously, but just enough to do the things that matter. Like taking life seriously enough to actually take care of things, but not so seriously that you stress out about doing them in the first place. With the bridge being live in the loudness, the steps and missteps, the zest, and the messages, memories, held in the skip to the door of the universe of possibilities. That last line is a lot to read, but I like live in the loudness, the steps and missteps. That's where the life is. That's the spice, the flavor, the zest. That's where life happens. And once you're able to be comfortable in that chaos, then maybe you'll be able to enjoy things a little bit more and be a bit more intentional about the things that matter. Third verse and the last bit that we'll look at being, are you lost in your head or did you just forget? Does the world deal you wrong? Did you want that all along? We're not built to repeat. Save your breath for your team. In the end, you'll survive just about. As in, we'll not fully survive. We're all gonna die, but you'll be fine. Up until that point, you'll be fine. We're not built to repeat. Save your breath for your team. If you need to repeat yourself for the things that matter, save it for the people that actually matter to you. And don't give the world more than you can deal out. Some pretty solid advice here. Adjusting your posture to how you interact with the world. That's very good. Let's finish off this album with the titular track, Not for Lack of Trying. Or for short, Flat. Flat. I'm picking up the guitar. Again, instrument sounds. Ooh, that's a
Bored and lonesome,
okay.
stuck and then some around
Okay.
and around and around.
Sure.
You guys go ahead, I'll stay in instead and figure out how to figure out. I can't seem to find any peace in the
All right.
mind, any
Short
warmth
strumming.
in the sun when I try to have fun. Lend me joy, I can't see mine, but not for lack of trying.
Okay, I gotcha.
I'm supplement taking, I'm smart and engaging, I'm
Truly.
for someone to say I had fun. Lend me joy, I can't see mine, but not for lack of trying.
And then we get a nice little 20-second instrumental to close things out. Hell yeah. Wow. Okay, yeah. So, at the beginning, I was saying that the name of the album was Not for Lack of Trying as a result of perhaps things in DODIE'S life preventing her from being able to write songs, being up to the task of recording, whatever it was. She wanted to make more music, and extenuating circumstances said otherwise. This is making it obviously a little bit more personal in that she's basically being like, yeah, I've been trying my best to enjoy life and enjoy the moment and all of the things that I've been talking about in the album so far. Just having a hard time of it, you know? I can't quite seem to find that joy, but it's not for lack of trying. She's trying to look for it and is just having trouble seeing that light, which is unfortunate to hear. I hope that she's in a better place. Hopefully she's cracked the code on it, or not necessarily cracked the code, but found some success, found some beauty to hold on to, enjoyed her life since. Bored and lonesome, stuck and then some, around and around and around. You guys go ahead, I'll stay in instead and figure out how to figure out. Followed by the chorus, I can't seem to find any peace in the mind, any warmth from the sun when I try to have fun. Lend me joy, I can't see mine, but not for lack of trying. Then verse 2, host an evening, tracking bleeding. Maybe that's how it goes. Full moon, witchcraft, psychic salt bath. I don't really know. With the last chorus being, I'm supplement taking, I'm smart and engaging. I'm lying for someone to say I had fun. Lend me joy, I can't see mine, but not for lack of trying. So chronicling all of these ways that Dodie has been trying to look for and find light and joy in her life, looking for ways to feel good, and it just isn't going the way she's hoping. Verse 1 sort of talking about like sticking around and getting lonely and meeting people, sticking around maybe a little bit longer than she should, all trying to figure out how to figure out the best way to find that joy, that light. Then verse 2, being like, I don't know, maybe it's because of where I'm at on my cycle, maybe I need to take a salt bath, maybe I just need to do a little bit of witchcraft, and that'll help. And then just the line, I don't really know. I don't know. I've tried a lot of things. I don't know what's gonna help. I'm taking supplements. I'm a smart person. I'm educated. I'm interesting. If people need me to say that I had fun after hanging out with them, I'll say it, even if I didn't feel it. If someone could just like lend me their joy, if I could just borrow that, because I can't seem to find mine, even though I am in fact trying. Which is a kind of depressing note to end the album on, but it does very much encapsulate a lot of the struggles and conflict that we've been talking about in this album. So it makes sense to end the album with this one. And that is, in fact, not for lack of trying, the album. I really liked this one. Like I said at the beginning with I'm Fine and Smart Girl, this is such a cool like development of Dodie's sound. She's really finding her pace with these like orchestral sounds, with these really, really deep, rich, acoustic textures and things, and like letting all of the different instrument sounds, all the taps and thumps and clicks come through in the recording. It makes it feel exactly as intimate and vulnerable as her actual like songwriting and lyricism matches. So it all comes together in a very, very cohesive way, and I cannot wait to see how it develops further. Developing, not necessarily meaning change. I'm not expecting that she'll branch much into other genres other than how she did with her friends in Fizz. But, I do believe that as artists, one of the best ways that we can improve as musicians is to try whatever the fuck might sound cool. Even if it's not what we're known for playing up until that point, if it connects with you as a musician, it's worth making something out of. And I think there was already a little bit of that. I did hear a little traces of things that they did in Fizz coming through in this album, which is which is in fact Dodie's first post-Fizz album. Really, really hearing whatever she learned from that band coming through a little bit in her own style. Hopefully you enjoyed this as well. If you did, there's a like button. You can go click it. That'd be great. Helps me out a lot. If you've got your own thoughts on these songs, if you've got thoughts on the album as a whole, feel free to leave those thoughts in the comments, as well as any other albums that you would like to see me react to. My queue of albums to listen to is shortening out a little bit, so depending on what new things come out over the next few months, maybe one of your requests will show up sooner than later. Other than that, if you haven't subscribed, now's a great time to do that. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We do a lot of these. I do these every now and then. But I mostly do gaming. I do some things with my friends. You'll find all sorts of different types of content on here. And if the way I interact with this music makes you want to see how I interact with video games, then would love to have you stick around and subscribe. If you want to support the channel in a monetary fashion, I do have a Fourth Wall site. You can go there and become a member, which does let you in on some exclusive content, including the album reaction that I did to The Secret to Life by Fizz. I have tried a couple times to get that video onto YouTube, and the copyright system has simply not been having it. A lot of the time, these videos, when I do get them onto YouTube, get demonetized. That one got both demonetized and blocked from being viewed at all. So if you want to see my thoughts on Secret to Life, Fourth Wall is the place to do it. If I start seeing more traffic on that, then I will also start putting up uncut versions of some of these reaction videos. Maybe not necessarily entirely uncut, but like, longer director's cut versions of things. And there's also merch that you can get there. Members get discounts on that. You get into the Discord server. We've got a cool group of people hanging out in there. Anything and everything is hugely appreciated. If you just want to buy merch, if you just want to make a donation, I'll acknowledge you in these videos. Otherwise, until next time, thank you so much, and I will see you later.